year.
That thing was actually made for you.
Physical for sanity.
Let me see.
Physical for sanity.
Let me see.
Or sanity. Girl, pretty culture. Girl, pretty. Oh, Nana Lace. Now that would be something. So do be sure to stick with us. Check out all of our socials. We'll have more details as the time draws nearer. Mona, what have you found? I'm scared.
I think I've found.
Okay.
Had I known, is always alas. Had I known, is always alas. Harry come home.
Three FM 92.7 3 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 FM.
Massive show will be in Ulo.
Hey. Then now and he has to get there 3 days prior because depending on who you ask, it could be quite a perilous journey. But who follow him to Ulo. So that being said, again, anticipate the best night of the Dirty December calendar. It's a 3FM all-white party, and we're encouraging you to
Show that opens and shuts all other shows.
I'm telling you, get your whites ready. Whatever it is, white shirts, white trousers. If on the day you see the whites now fire, you just bring any color there. Just come, make your way there.
Bring any color. We will see that parable about when you dress anyhow to the party, the gate will be shut on you. You must wear white.
You must wear white.
So that we are sure that you have dirtied the white by the time you leave there.
Okay.
There's a parable like that.
Oh, you don't read your Bible.
Remind me.
Let's continue. This is not a Sunday school class.
The
The parable.
There's no parable. You dress anywhere how.
I heard the story that if you don't wear the party attire, you will not be allowed in.
Yes.
You don't go to church.
Mother, I say yes. Are you sure that there's a parable like that?
There is a parable like that. They weren't dressed properly to honor the
Osofo Crosby.
Can you imagine?
Osofo Crosby.
It's so disappointing. And this came from not being a person than an Osofo. Mami Ablek Manana lays back.
What's the justification of something?
It's not.
92.7 3 FM.
It has been long. Deadlines. Hustle, pressure. Now it's time to breathe, to dance, to feel again. The music hits, waves crush, energy rises. You're surrounded by good people and golden light. This is your reset, your freedom, your joy. 3FM All White Party, the beach edition, where paradise meets the party. Labadi Beach Hotel, 28 December. Lock it up.
This December, give your kids what they really want. Your time, your full attention. Cerelac in partnership with 3FM presents Family Fun Day. #Familac 2025. A full day adventure packed with games, family competitions, live performances. Happening Friday, 5th December at Good Park from 9 a.m. To register your family for free, dial *928*12*11#. For vendor bookings or inquiries, call or WhatsApp us on 053-11-00927 or 053-220-0927. Family Fun Day, powered by Cerelac and brought to you by 3FM.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free
beyond.
That's
the one.
Yeah. Tonight, see a petty couchy. Girl, see a petty couchy.
92.7
Girl, tonight, see a pocket pie.
92.7 3 FM. 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 92.7 3 FM.
A classic.
So what? The campaign is on to Gablickman analysts on the 3FM.
Girls to Apathy Culture. Girls to Apathy Culture.
Anyways, that's just by the way. Building up towards the 3FM all white party.
That's right.
Most certainly. We're looking forward to a lot of excitement in relation to that. But away from that, there's some interesting developments. We know we've been talking the budget all throughout the weekend.
That's right.
And there's been different aspect of the budget as was presented, but we know as well tomorrow there is something called a gun amnesty, which is to be announced by the Interior Minister along with the Small Arms Commission. What exactly is the amnesty for guns? Considering we over the time raised concerns about proliferation of arms within our society, amongst many other things. That's one of the things that we're seeking to get an understanding of this morning, and we're our friends from the Small Arms Commission. They are joining us, so they will join us on the phone pretty shortly for a conversation as well. But yes, the budget, I don't know if anything new has stuck out for you in the aftermath. I mean, it's been marinating. We've been thinking through. I still am raving mad about, in excitement, I should say, not mad. Mad will suggest that I'm angry about something. And so perhaps I'll revise that use of language. But that palm red gold thing has stuck with me, and the entire agenda for farmer service centers is very important. It's very, very important, and we'll look forward to how that comes about. But let me know as well, if you're listening to us, what it is that you found particularly exciting about the budget as has been presented by the Finance Minister some weeks ago.
Certainly. So wait, we're parking the gun conversation for now.
I mean, like barely some days ago. Actually,
what is it? Say 4 days.
4 days ago.
5 days ago.
No weeks, just days ago.
Okay, but just confirming, Mawana, we're parking our gun conversation for now to talk about the budget, or are we going to enter that conversation?
We'll enter the gun conversation probably, because let me just read this for starters, where the Minister of Interior is set to announce a gun amnesty which will run for a period of 6 weeks. The initiative aims to provide a safe and voluntary opportunity for citizens to surrender unregistered or illicitly held firearms without fear of prosecution. The gun amnesty is complemented by a ban on the use of arms during traditional festivities and restrictions on the importation and sale of arms. And so, essentially we're saying, we know you're not supposed to own or have guns in your possession, but if you do, bring it. You come and surrender it, and we will not do anything to you. And after which, if you want to register, I'm sure there'll be conversations about registering. You can so register.
So this conversation has been brewing. We've had the Small Arms Commission speak to us in the course of the year a number of times, and we know that this amnesty decision has been also brewing or cooking for some time now. Depending on these days, you can go to a number of events and guns are present. I'm talking about even to the extent that now I'm hearing, this is according to the Small Arms Commission, you've got weddings. People are firing them at traditional marriage ceremonies. You have it at funerals, even naming ceremonies. Any excuse for persons to take out weapons and fire it into the sky or whatever the case may be. For what reason, I don't know. It's become all too common, and we've seen this year the number of incidents that have happened or what has transpired when we have guns at these types of events, festivals, for example. Then we have the guns out, and it's becoming very problematic indeed. And so this decision to grant amnesty so that we can get more guns out of the system, I think, is certainly a step in the right direction. I recall on the last engagement we had with the Small Arms Commission, they said that you don't need a gun to feel secure, in your home. There are other mechanisms that we should be thinking about before we even think about weapons. So have you considered having, some large dogs in your house? Think about the security systems, alarms, and so on and so forth, so that we're not so fixated on having arms on us at all times. I think it's becoming one too many guns in the system. Now, if you don't take up this opportunity for amnesty and the time passes by and then you are caught with a firearm, then you have some serious questions to answer and some consequences that will, follow therein.
I think the amnesty is one thing, and then finding the persons who have the guns and are not reporting it is another. We have a problem in identifying the individuals who have the guns and are not surrendering or registering them properly, so-called. I think that really is one of the challenges. The amnesty is great, but what is a compliance rate? Because from time to time we do it as well. It will be interesting when they join us for us to understand what the compliance rate is. So when they say they are granting us amnesty, how many people come up and say, I got a gun from so and so, I imported it, or I got it from a local manufacturer, and what have you, and this is it. I have come to comply with or I'm taking advantage of this amnesty so I can properly so register it, or I'm surrendering it unto you. How many people actually step forward and do that?
I see a few concerns with this, that this amnesty, although the idea is great, like we're talking about, it doesn't target the real suppliers. The program is focusing on individuals who are to surrender their weapons, not the networks that import, not the groups of people that manufacture or distribute these illegal arms. A lot of the people who have the arms illegally, they did not create them themselves. They bought it from people, or they got it from people. So as long as the supply chains remain untouched, more weapons will keep entering the communities, and then we'll have to be doing this amnesty thing again, and it will really not be solving any problem, properly. There's also the bit about the people who participate in this amnesty initiative. It will be, I don't want to say regular people, but that's what it's going to be. The criminal elements in our communities will use the guns for robberies, for land guard activities, for crimes. They do not have any incentive to surrender the weapons. So again, what is that solving essentially? There's also the bit about it being just one-off and it will not be sustainable. We know that the gun problem in Ghana, they are long-term and then they are systemic. This amnesty is a short-term event. It doesn't address the porous borders, it doesn't address corruption, or does not address the weak licensing systems. They say that in the coming days, they are going to digitalize the licensing regime of guns, so people do not have to stress to register their guns, because they say the hurdles you have to overcome to register your gun is one of the reasons why people do not want to register their gun. So if all of these are taken care of, then we will be able to have a proper conversation about reducing the proliferation of arms in the wrong hands. But if it does not happen and we're only doing amnesty, bring the gun, we'll not arrest you, bring the gun if it's legal, and then start process of registering and all of that, we're really not tackling any problem, because the core problem is the porous borders, is the crimes that they are using these guns to commit. And the local gun manufacturing companies, they also have very crucial roles to play in sanitizing the communities of the illegal weapons.
And so, I think you've hit the nail right on its head. We can grant amnesty, but if persons are still getting the guns into the system, they are handing it over to individuals who are using it for different activities. Look, let's even talk about Galamsey and the sophisticated nature of their weapons, right?
And then you don't also have to think that these Galamseers who have the weapons will want to surrender their guns because you are doing amnesty. It will not happen. So it means they'll keep holding their guns, they'll keep having their guns, they'll keep using their guns to do the illegal things. So the amnesty good, but I mean, there's still a lot more to be done.
A lot more to be done. Our friends from the Small Arms Commission, they are supposed to be joining us as well. But if I recall anything, it's the gun some of the illegal miners had in their possession when they accosted the respective teams, particularly the EPA teams who were in Dadring. Yes, Dadring was the town I was looking for during the newspaper review. Dadring, and then Obuasi. Right? Ibrahim tells a story of how armed they were. Armed from where? So, if we're granting this amnesty, are we granting it to these individuals as well who are in the Galamsey pit areas? I mean, we need to understand really what is happening. What is the incentive for somebody to say, I want to give up my gun?
Yeah.
Which I have got illegally. Yeah, we're trying to get these guns out of the system, but what is the incentive?
Right.
Because you're not able to identify and find them anyways. And so what is the basis for me to want to surrender? These are some of the things that are coming up, reason for which we're seeking to get a bit more in terms of an understanding as to what this is all about, and whether or not it is not just a box that is being ticked in terms of the work of the Interior Ministry or the Small Arms Commission when they say that, we're granting amnesty for everybody to amongst many other things, surrender guns that they own illegally.
I really think the people who surrender the guns will be people who have no use of the guns again. Maybe your grandfather had a gun passed on, you chanced upon it in your home, that kind of thing.
So a very small number.
Very small
the
number.
incentive is not there.
The people who have the guns and are using it for crimes, they have no idea.
They have
don't
plans
want to bring it back.
They have plans for their gun.
You see, so what is the amnesty going to achieve? The Galamseyers were seeing pump action guns, assault rifles, guns of high quality, high caliber, not only the locally manufactured ones. So it's a conversation that should go beyond this.
And certainly will go beyond this. Jebia Sante is Acting Director, Policy Planning, Research, Monitoring and Evaluation at the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. He's joined us this morning for a conversation. Mr. Jebi, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I trust that all is well with you.
Thank you so much for having me. All is well, and I hope all is well with you too.
We're all well. This amnesty for persons who own guns, have not brought them before you. What is it all about? I mean, talk to us. We're having a conversation in studio, and perhaps we're in need of a bit more in terms of education. What's the reasoning behind this amnesty as it's been granted by the Interior Ministry through the Small Arms and Light Weapons?
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we are talking about the minister declaring a gun amnesty very soon, probably, hopefully, tomorrow. And what is the gun amnesty all about? I listened into the earlier conversations and discussions that you're having with, I think, one of your panelists in there. We realize that we have too many illicit arms circulating in the country. And indeed, one of your panelists said it right. We have to make sure we reduce these numbers of illicit arms in the system. And obviously, we need a lot of measures to make sure we succeed. So the gun amnesty is just one of them that we are going to do to make sure that we reduce the number of illicit arms in the hands of citizens or people living in this country. Because we have been seeing of late that even during funerals, we see young men wielding pump action, all kinds of weapons. During traditional festivals, we see people wielding all kinds of weapons. And sadly enough, people have lost their lives through some of these situations. And so people fire accidentally and people lose their lives. We all know what happened to one Queen Mother who was being installed at Nungwa, and unfortunately he lost his life. We have been saying that was one accidental shooting. A lot of people have lost their lives. But recently I even got to hear from someone who thought that it wasn't even accidental. Probably it was a planting. And then I said that even makes it more dangerous. So what it means is that if we do not control the use of arms in this country, especially these days, the way we see people wielding arms during funerals and all kinds of traditional festivities, then what it means is that if someone intends to assassinate someone, and God forbid, we don't want a situation where one of these days we hear that somebody, through the celebration of these traditional festivities, a prominent chief has lost his life. So we need to deal with the situation. And rightly said, when we talk about gun amnesty, our target is not a criminal, because a criminal would never surrender his weapon in the name of any gun amnesty. So those people will be dealt with accordingly by the security agencies, by making sure we go after them and they make sure they get the weapons. But now what is going to happen is that we are looking at the category of good citizens, people who don't really have any criminal intent, people who, out of probably ignorance, even though they say ignorance of the law is no excuse. The president says that, look, most of you are wielding weapons that are not registered, that are illicit. We want you to do the right thing. It is illegal. The security agencies can come after you and arrest you and prosecute you, but we want to give you the benefit of the doubt. So what the president is saying is that I'm granting amnesty. The Minister for the Interior will let us know when the amnesty is going to start and when the amnesty is going to end. And he says if you are a good intent, you are a Ghanaian who has a good intention, you don't have any criminal intention to use the weapon, but you know it's not registered and it's illicit, you surrender the weapon. Bring the weapon to the security agencies, and then we take it from there. And so I heard one of the panelists actually say, we've had amnesty in the past, and after the amnesty, what next? We just went back to sleep. If we continue to do that, then of course the amnesty will not be of any effect. And so this time we are going to make sure it is well planned, we are making sure it is elaborate, and we are making sure that it achieves results. And so after the amnesty, I'm not too sure how long that is going to be. I'm sure the minister will let us know. And you do not surrender your weapon that is unregistered or illicit, then we can count you amongst those who have criminal intent. And that is why you did not surrender your weapon. And so after that, action is going to be taken by the security agencies to make sure we retrieve all these illicit weapons from the system. And that is where people will be arrested and prosecuted. So we are saying that during this amnesty period, you surrender your weapon. Nobody is going to interrogate you or ask you where did you get a weapon from. Nobody is going to arrest you or prosecute you. Just surrender the weapon. And so just last Thursday, we had a train of trainers workshop at the police training school for officers who are going to be in charge of this amnesty program. And they are also going to the regions to go and train all the officers from the districts and from the divisions. So we are even training the officers for them to know how to go about the amnesty to make sure that they succeed. We are doing awareness raising, educating Ghanaians for them to know what is coming, for them to take advantage, opportunity of that window and make sure they surrender their weapons. So that is what the gun amnesty is all about. But it's just one of the measures that the ministry, in collaboration with the Small Arms Commission, the Ghana Police Service, we are taking to make sure that we bring down the situation of people having too many illicit arms in the system. So, rightly said, we need to look at our borders, our porous borders where we have weapons coming in, and measures are going to be put in place. The minister is actually going to announce a number of measures, not just the amnesty. The amnesty is just one of them. And so that is what the gun amnesty it's all about. For people to take advantage, if you know you have an unregistered weapon or a licensed weapon, bring it. Because if not, after the amnesty, you are going to be hot because the security agencies will come after you and make sure you are arrested and prosecuted.
Right.
I heard your let me finish with this. I heard the gentleman who was speaking earlier made mention of the fact that people say that it's cumbersome, the registration process is difficult, and so they buy these weapons without going through the system. Well, I keep saying, like we normally say, that if you say education is expensive, try ignorance, all right? If you think that the process is difficult, and so you bypass the process and go and buy a weapon, especially those who say, oh, I need it for self-protection. I keep saying, assuming you have an illicit or registered weapon in the name of self-protection, and something happens, and you use the weapon to protect or defend yourself, obviously the police will come in. And when the police comes in, they will ask you of your documentation, and that's where you realize that you made a wrong move. So please, the process is not that difficult the way we think, except that the possession of firearm is not a right in this country, but a privilege, because we all know what a weapon can do. So you go through the process. Sometimes even they will advise you or they will help you to know that, look, this weapon is even not good for you. It could create problems for you. And probably you may even, change your mind not to possess the weapon. So please, if anybody thinks he really needs a weapon for self-protection or for any legitimate reason, such as hunting, just make sure you go through the process. And if you qualify to own the weapon, why not? The firearm will be given to you.
Right. Well, that gentleman you speak of is my colleague in the studio with me as well, Noble Crosby, and I'm here with Helen Apiampofo as well. And so we're having the conversation, and we're happy to interact with you. A number of things you said, which we'll be seeking to pick apart one after the other. One is that you do admit, along with what Crosby was saying, that there is a certain going to sleep after this amnesty. I heard you on a motivation as to why persons should come forward and surrender their weapons. But let's start off with perhaps the actions which you say will be different this time around after this amnesty, because it's not the first time we've heard it. Obviously not the second time you'll be granted an amnesty. What should be happening after this amnesty, which you haven't done in the past? Reason for which you're saying that you're confident after this time round you can't clamp down on persons who own guns illegally.
Okay, thank you very much. So, for example, if I remember, 2016, a gun amnesty was granted. We didn't do a lot of awareness creation, so a lot of people didn't even know about it. I think it was granted for, if I remember, 4 weeks or so. And after that, like I said, we went to sleep because the security agency did not go after anybody who was, holding illicit firearms or registered firearms. So if I do not bring it and nothing will happen to me, then what is the motivation? And that is one of the things we are doing differently. So this time, and we mean it, and I know the minister will mention it in his declaration, if after the period, the security agencies are going to go after people who are still holding on to illicit arms. And like I said, you may be considered as someone with a criminal intent or criminal mind. Because if you don't have a criminal intention, then I don't see what should prevent you from bringing your surrendering your weapon to the security agencies. And we mean it when we say no interrogation, no arrest, no prosecution. It is one of the reasons why we are training the officers who are going to be in charge, of these amnesty, to make sure that they also do things right, to make sure the weapons, when they are collected, are very secure, So those are some of the things. So, like I said, the security agencies definitely will come after those who will not surrender their weapons. So that is one of the things that will be different. In addition to that, like I said, other measures will run concurrently. Even the issue of people using arms in these traditional festivities, these days it's become so interesting. We call it celebratory shooting. So somebody wins a court case, not less than a month ago, somebody wins a court case and is firing as part of the celebrations, and then 5 people are hit, including a child. somebody is going to perform the traditional rite of going to marry somebody's daughter, and someone is leading the person and is shooting a weapon. And so what happens if accidentally somebody is hit? Then an occasion that is supposed to be a joyous moment, becomes a sad one. We know what happened to our own brother Kofi Adomawani, So all these things, we are also making sure that we streamline things. We are collaborating with our traditional authorities. We are having engagement with them. The minister has had a number of engagement with key stakeholders, even including the gun dealers or the licensed arms dealers. So somebody mentioned the suppliers. Yes, they are the people who legitimately are supposed to sell to people who come to them with permits. So we are engaging all these critical stakeholders and putting a number of measures in place. I don't want to go ahead of the minister to put on air, because I'm sure tomorrow, and I'm sure TV3 and 3FM will be there. I mean, it will be all these things will be clearly spelled out. So, yes, that is what makes it different from what happened during Kufuor's time. I'm not too sure whether 2001, and then what happened in 2016. So it is going to be very elaborate. We are engaging all the critical stakeholders, putting a number of measures in place alongside the gun amnesty to make sure that, all these illicit weapons are retrieved, that people don't use weapons anyhow after the gun amnesty, and then to make sure that after that period, those who are still holding on to illicit arms or unregistered arms are probably dealt with.
And it's important you mention collaboration with persons who deal in the arms and sell them off subsequently, because there's a question that will easily come up that you should be knowing where these guns are going to start off with, particularly if your collaboration or your partnership with persons who deal in the arms is very strong. Then you should be knowing in which areas these guns are going, because if persons are buying them from the black market and what have you, intelligence should be able to help us understand that, because every now and then there's a concern that the proliferation of arms in the country is very severe. And I haven't even gone into the subject area of our galamseyers and the sort of arms they wield, even on private citizens alone, and the examples you cited, a plethora of examples at weddings and the likes. The collaboration, some say, is suspect and it's not helping you do the work well enough.
Well, I don't know what you mean by the collaboration is suspect, because so like I said, we are collaborating with even the licensed arms dealers. They are to make sure that they operate within the purview of the law. The law tells them you do not sell a weapon to someone who comes to you without a permit. So we are making sure the right thing is done, and everybody must understand. We are making everybody understand that what we are doing, it's about our own life, all right? And so we say, let's silence the gun to save our own life. I mean, tomorrow, it has been somebody yesterday, accidentally. It could be you tomorrow, and the weapon doesn't know anybody. One of my colleagues said the weapon doesn't have a memory card. It doesn't know whether you are even the supplier or whether you are the owner of the firearm. When the bullet leaves the muzzle of the weapon, it can go anywhere. So we are also educating them for them to understand that even as business people, you don't just look at the money that you are making. You must also think about our security, think about our safety, think about your own safety, including that of your family. So it is something that all of us need to understand, that we have come to a time where we need to safeguard the peace that this country is enjoying. We know what is happening in all the sub-regions, and it's because we have too many illicit weapons in the system. And that is something that we don't want to happen to us as Ghanaians. And so that is why we are raising awareness. We have been engaging the media. There will be more engagement with the ministry as well to make sure the media also help us by playing the role you need to play by educating people. So if someone who has criminal intent is selling weapons in the black market just thinking of the money, and you are a good citizen who doesn't have any criminal mind, and you just want a gun to protect yourself, the education will let you know that, look, if you go there to buy and tomorrow there's a problem, even if you use it to defend yourself legitimately, you find yourself in trouble. So people need to be educated to also do the right thing. So That is what we are trying to do. But of course, like I said, with the criminals, they will also be dealt with at the right time. So we are making sure that people who are just buying out of ignorance, or people who are also buying because they think the process is difficult, we need to let them understand that the right thing is to go through the legal process. If not, and when there's trouble, you'll be in trouble. You made mention of those who are using the weapons in the illegal mining. Of course, they are embarking on illegal activities. And for such people, when you talk about amnesty, they won't mind you. They wouldn't want to go through the legal process because they know what they are going to use the weapon for is something that is not within the purview of the law. So for those people, of course, the security agencies are doing their work. NIMOS is doing its work, and you heard about some seizures of some weapons, and there we are. The commission is also engaging the authorities to make sure that the commission is part of the NIMOS process. We can also mark weapons that are seized for purposes of accountability to make sure that these weapons don't go back into society. So, like I said, there are a number of actions being taken, a number of measures that are being taken to make sure that we deal with the issues holistically. But the gun amnesty, like I said, purposely is for people who don't have any criminal intention, and they think that they need a weapon to protect themselves, but they didn't go through the legal process. Then the president is saying, I'm just granting you an amnesty, you surrender your weapon, and then the other measures will also be taken alongside.
Right, and for the concern by a lot of Ghanaians about activities of illegal miners and the sort of weapons it is that they wield, we've been having conversations for a long time about how easily these weapons get into the country. You've been at the helm for quite a while. When I say you, I don't mean you in particular, but the Small Arms Commission, amongst many other things. What really is a challenge that continues to bedevil you and your operations in being able to fully realize the potential of reducing to the barest of minimums these arms within our society?
Thank you very much. So I think just as you said, one of the challenges that I see these days, is how young men see the possession and holding, openly displaying firearms. Some of them see it as a kind of fashion, and we need to educate them for them to understand that, no, that is not the right way to live. So you have a number of people who think that our security agencies cannot protect them, and so they need to protect themselves. Which is not correct. So even if, like I said, you truly believe that you need to protect yourself, we are saying go through the legal process, go to the police, go and declare your intention. They will take you through the process. And if they realize that you are someone who qualifies, they will grant you the permit to make sure you get a weapon legally for whatever legitimate business that you want to use the weapon for. So the mindset of a lot of people, that has been one of the challenges, but I'm sure the awareness raising, the sensitization, is helping a lot of people to rethink, the why they demand or they desire to have weapons. You made mention of the porous borders. Yes, that is one major challenge, not only to the commission, but we all know for the security agencies, because when you look at the vast, nature of our borders. And when it comes to border challenges, it's not only in Ghana. Even advanced countries also have their own challenges. Yes, so we need the equipment, the logistics. We need the technology that will help us to be able to detect some of these weapons and all that. We didn't used to be at our borders, but as a commission, we started moving to some of our borders, working in tandem with our security agencies at the borders. So, for example, now we are at Paga, we are at Lubo, we are at Aflao, we are at Nanuso. So most of the borders, we are even at the Semapo. And then we also realize that at the Semapo, for example, some of our brothers, who are sojourning outside, will smuggle some of these pistols into the country in the name of business because they buy it cheap. And then when it gets here, they'll get people who say, I need a weapon to protect myself. They will sell it and make profit. And so they will hide them in these containers, this door to door, and then the weapon will enter into the country because we didn't have the requisite equipment that will help the security agencies to detect, some of these weapons. Thankfully, now we have one weapon detection equipment at the Temaport, and the Honorable Minister for the Interior giving us resources to procure more, about 20 or more next year. So all these things will be deployed, to the various borders. That will help us to be able to easily detect people trying to smuggle, hiding weapons and all kinds of things into the country. So that will help us. But we still have a number of things that we need to do that we are working on. We need to move to a lot more borders in tandem with the security agencies. Very soon we are going to have some operations we call the CAFO 6 operations, and the security agencies are going to operate at the borders, making sure they clamp down on all kinds of smuggling of contraband that will be entering into the country. K9 dogs are going to be deployed. So a number of things are going to be done, to make sure that, just as my brother Crosby said, we make sure we reduce, the issue of people or the incident of people trafficking these illicit arms into the country. Of course, we also need a lot of human resource to be able to do this. And I know next year government is going to give us the clearance to recruit a number of people that will help us, so our presence will be felt in most of these critical areas, so that we'll be able to reduce the issue of illicit circulation of small arms in the country.
And so in about 6 months' time, when we return to you, the news will be that a lot of activity has taken place and you're working towards reducing the presence of these arms in the country.
Yes, I can confidently say that because I have a minister who is very proactive. I mean, the Honorable Minister of the Interior, Honorable Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak. I mean, someone who listens, very open-minded, and is open to all kinds of suggestions that will make sure that things work. And so I am confident that all the things that the minister is going to talk about come tomorrow, he is going to ensure and he's going to make sure he retools the security agencies, the Ghana Police Service, the Small Arms Commission, and all the allied security agencies to make sure that what he wants to do is done. Because I know it's also one of the things that the president seeks to do. And if you remember when he traveled recently, I think to Asia or so, he made mention of silencing the guns that will even allow investors to, not only in Ghana, but especially in Africa, that will allow them to come and invest so that our youth will get employment and they will have jobs to do. So I know the government, the president, the government, the minister, they are committed to this. And I know definitely it will happen. And then also we submitted a bill that will review our law to make sure that we have stringent measures so far as the control of small arms is concerned becomes very effective. And I know the minister is pushing, is working so hard on it. Very soon it will get to the AG's department, as was mentioned during the opening of the Trainer of Trainers workshop at the police depot. So all these things, I know in 6 months to come, a number of things would have happened. And I expect that we should have been able to reduce the number of illicit arms, not just that, but even the number of gun violence going on in this country. We should have been able to reduce it to a very significant level.
Right then, Mr. Jebia Santi, we'll leave our conversations here. I'm sure we'll return to you in the coming months for an extensive conversation again. Perhaps I'll ask one more. On the persons who own some of the guns for the criminals and all of that, that is a special operation which you're going to be taken care of, because they obviously will not be coming to surrender their guns because
for them Ghana so definitely the security agencies will have to go after them and make sure they get them arrested and get the weapons retrieving them.
Right then, I will leave it here. Jebia Santi is with the Small Arms Commission. I'll just get its designation right this morning as well, even as we continue in our conversations. He's spoken to the reasoning why you should be surrendering your arms. He's the Acting Director, Policy Planning, Research, Monitoring and Evaluation, National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. That's a huge position, Helen. Acting Director, Policy Planning, Research, Monitoring and Evaluation as well, the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. And so that's the explanation. He's given a justification as to why you should be surrendering your arms as well, if you own one.
That's right.
I had a No, I don't have a weapon.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was going to say your mic is on.
No, my mic, I know very well my mic.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
I mean, I have an officer friend who was saying that, oh, you know what, you should get a small weapon and then register it for safety concerns and all of that. And I was thinking to myself, why would I need a weapon? I mean,
that's what everybody says. They say, oh, well, I need it for protection and so on and so on. You know, some people actually move into a neighborhood and the first thing they do is set off warning shots.
Yeah, the fire.
So that let you know
that if you come in, you come in at your own peril.
Exactly. This idea that, oh, if I don't have a gun, I can't be secure in other ways, it's become very commonplace as well. And the last time we spoke with Mr. J.B. Asante, he said, consider other forms of personal protection, because that same gun that you have in your possession, somebody that's trying to harm you could get a hold of it and do something to you.
Well, anyway, it's a privilege and not a right. Let's get on to the other phone lines. Dr. Victor Doke is a security analyst and a lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center. He's also joining us this morning for that conversation on the amnesty as it's being granted. Will be announced tomorrow by the minister. Doc, I appreciate you joining us this morning as well. I hope all is well.
Yes, all is well. Good morning to you and then your co-host.
Yes, Helen and Crosby, they are here with me as well. This conversation of gun amnesty is not the first time we're having that come into being. Would you describe the previous ones as successful, such that we can look forward to this one having individuals who own guns, surrender them so easily, and then we can begin to clean up our space in terms of persons who own these weapons?
All right, thank you very much. The first one, I'm not privy to it, but if it's in relation to what happened some time back that entails gun for some amount of money or something like that. I mean, it was not successful, but with this particular, should I say, initiative, where the amnesty will be given, it will be very difficult and challenging, one, for someone who owns a weapon. Our country, who have registered, and I'm looking at those who have unregistered illegal weapons in their hands. Now, how do you expect these people to bring them willingly, voluntarily, just come bring these weapons, and then what happens? Nothing of that sort. There's a lot of loopholes in our system. Where are these weapons even coming from in the first place, and which channels are they being used? Is what we need to look at. Block the system, block all these loopholes before now. I wish this policy would have been implemented. But if you're not blocking those channels where these illegal weapons are coming from, and then you have this amnesty, it only means that you are giving opportunity for people to bring in more. Because then you don't block a loophole, you don't block the channels, and then you want to initiate this policy. Now, let's look at those who have registered weapons. Sometime back, some weeks back, we got to know about the number of people who have registered weapons, but not that have expired. The license has expired, but it's not gone for renewal. Okay? How about we start with those ones? First of all, let's get them to renew. Let's get them to provide the proper details. So those who, when you do the reassessment and everything, those who are not supposed to even handle the weapons, you take the weapons from them. You start with those ones. Now, those by and large who have the weapons registered in the system, where their whereabouts are not known. Are we tracking them? Are we tracing them? Okay? So these are some of the things that we need to look at. Now, the other aspect I'm looking at is conflict-prone areas where these illegal weapons have been, in the hands of the youth, for liberation of small arms in these, conflict-prone areas. What is the modus operandi with regards to that also? Okay, so these are some of the things that we are expecting that, the agencies, government agencies responsible for this initiative should look at. If they have it in the plan tomorrow, as the minister will come out with clear directives, that's fair enough. But I think we need to look at the holistic approach. You block all the routes, illegal routes that these weapons are coming in from, get the campaigns behind those who are smuggling the weapons, and then you implement rapid, drastic, and robust approach. could be one of these, and then you can be sure that you get some results. But if we are not blocking the loopholes, the channels where these weapons are coming from, then I'm sorry to say, be fighting at this cause.
And you mentioned areas where we've seen persons wielding guns, amongst many other things, and it comes off sometimes as though we see the videos and yet nobody takes action. Should we be seeing a bit more in terms of the Ghana Police Service being proactive in that sense, or the Small Arms and Light Weapons Commission being proactive beyond these amnesties and picking up on individuals, persons, groups? You've mentioned areas where there's conflict amongst many other things. Identifying these areas and going into, if seize is the appropriate word, seize these weapons and make it known that it is not right for you to own a gun without a license. I think that's missing more often than not until we hear about an amnesty.
Yes. So that's what I was talking about, blocking out the loopholes. Now, what are we doing to the ones in the system? We are being told amnesty is being given. But trust me, you're looking at conflict-prone areas where two ethnic groups do not trust each other. And the main reason why they acquire the weapons is to tell you that for self-defense, because they don't trust the other party. It will be difficult for these people to surrender the weapons voluntarily. Now, what we can do, as you suggested rightly, Small Arms Commission, Ghana Police, Ghana Security Agencies, Intelligence Bureaus, and all of that, USEC, DISEC, whoever, you identify where these weapons are. And trust me, our intelligence spectrum is very effective enough that it picks up this intelligence. They know where these weapons are, and we can organize an operation to retrieve these weapons. The state has the power and authority through its agency, Small Arms Commission, to effect these kind of operations to seize these weapons. Okay, those identified with weapons, yes, we've seen how the police have arrested some of them. You're talking about festival celebrations, which has now become a norm that people load guns and fire into the atmosphere or whatever. The consequences we've all seen in the past. So these are some of the things we need to look at. It can be concurrently new initiating the policy or implementing the policy while solely practicing getting these kind out of the specifically with targeted operations. That would be effective. But voluntarily, when it comes to conflict-prone areas, for them to surrender their weapons, where you're looking at the political dynamics which changes the conflict, where you're looking at shadow stakeholders, conflict profiteers before the conflict, you would have it very, very difficult or challenging for any faction to surrender their weapons if you don't conduct a very thorough, intelligence-led operation to retrieve these weapons. You cannot retrieve these weapons.
And finally, on this particular subject matter, I'll pick your thoughts on another subject, which we'll be getting into. What will be your expectation after this amnesty is announced? The commission seems to be of the opinion that there's a bit more in terms of work that they have to do after the amnesty is announced to ensure that people comply, and then they're able to mop up and sweep through and retrieve a number of these weapons. What will be your own expectation of not just the Small Arms Commission, but the other respective agencies who are supposed to be working in tandem to clean up the space?
I think we need interagency collaboration. Most of the times we like to work in isolation, which doesn't yield much, results. It's an agency collaboration in regards to intelligence feeding into the operational aspect, and then going on the field itself. We need that because it's a chain. Without that, it becomes ineffective. Without that, the smaller commission becomes ineffective. So we need intelligence to feed in this kind of operation, and then you can best assured to have some results. Resources. I'm expecting that there will be a lot of resources in this area, because you are not just looking at one particular enclave. This is going to cover the whole nation. So you need a lot of resources in this regard. Okay? Finances, technology, training, capacity building, equipment. Okay? If you are talking about you have an intelligence about a stash of weapons somewhere, and you can't conduct a raid in the afternoon or morning. You need to go into the night. You need night, equipment, night vision goggles or whatever. You need vehicles, the manpower, proper what accoutrements, staff release, and also warning. So I'm expecting that these, items will be provided for the, commission or sister security agencies for them to be effective enough. If you come out with a policy, okay, which is very good, which will yield results, you've done your analysis, if you don't have the resources to back it up, you agree with me, you get nowhere. So we need the resources. Most of the times the political will is there, but what is lacking is the resources. Apart from the resources, implementation of the regulations, implementation of the law. Okay, so now if we say all these things, what will happen? We need to see enforcement. You need to enforce the law. If you don't enforce it, then people begin to have, that impetus to own weapons without even a registry. But with all this said and done, what will happen after tomorrow will determine if we are going to be successful with regards to this or not.
I appreciate you, but let me just pick your thoughts on the resumption of the recruitment by the Ghana Armed Forces. It's expected to continue from Thursday. There are some innovations in terms of measures that have been put in place to ensure a seamless process. And so now we're seeing screening to be done at 8 sub-centers within the following 5 locations. Elwak Stadium is supposed to have 2 centers. The Nicholson Park at the Burma Camp, 2 centers. The Air Force Base Burma Camp. Training and Doctrine Command at Teshi, 2 centers. And then Eastern Naval Command also having a center. You say satisfied that some reform has come through in terms of how this should be done, and the overcrowding and what resulted in the unfortunate deaths will not be something we will see going forward?
Yeah, I think this is a very good change which has come due to an unfortunate incident. But I think we've learned our lessons as an institution, and I think these reforms or changes or, whatever you call it, is in the right direction. This is what should have been done earlier on to avoid all these things. So I think we learned from our lessons, and I think I agree very well with the change and I support it. Now, the only issue is in the directives being given by the applicants. So that is where now we should direct most of our education to, because the institution has shown that they are willing, they've done all these changes, they are ready, the resources are there. Now, those applicants only and they should need to instructions when they get there to avoid any other unfortunate incident. I think this is simple after this now. And if we are ahead to instructions as applicants, everything will go well.
Right then, Doc, I appreciate you speaking to us this morning.
Thank you very much.
That's Dr. Victor Doke speaking to us this morning as well, Helen. Two matters. Expect a lot more in terms of collaboration between the security agencies to do with the activities of the small arms, and he believes that what we're seeing play out in terms of the military recruitment, we'll get into that as well. But just quick thoughts before we go for this break, which has been pending for quite a while.
I think everything he said was in the right direction, especially where he talks about security agencies being fit for purpose and they can track. Don't think that what you're doing or what you're holding is on the blind side of our security personnel. They've got the intelligence to track down these arms. I think a word to the wise is not only in the north, it's enough.
It's enough indeed. Let's go for this quick bit. When we return, we'll talk about the military recruitment. It's resuming on Thursday. I've read bits and pieces of it just to get the thoughts of Dr. Doke, but we'll get into it properly after the short break.
Having trouble dealing
92.7 3 FM.
has been long. Deadlines, hustle, pressure. Now it's time to breathe, to dance, to feel again. The music hits, waves crush, energy rises. You're surrounded by good people and golden light. This is your reset, your freedom, your joy. 3FM All White Party, the beach edition, where paradise meets the party. Labadi Beach Hotel, 28 December. Lock it up.
This December, give your kids what they really want. Your time, your full attention. Cerelac in partnership with 3FM presents Family Fun Day. #FamilyLac 2025. A full-day adventure packed with games, family competitions, live performances. Happening Friday, 5th December at Good Park from 9 a.m. To register your family for free, dial *928*12*11#. For vendor bookings or inquiries, call or WhatsApp us on 053-11-00927 or 053-220-0927. Family Fun Day, powered by Cerelac and brought to you by 3FM.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure. Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Coming to the mountains, sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names. Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, let go. We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
You know, I've watched you. Sometimes our people disagree with you, but I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
why do you panic?
The way you, Papa, you know, Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it pretty.
Watch Johnny's bite.
We can do better. In wrapping up, for example, Kunzo, show me the cattle grazing in the heart of the city. We say we are getting better. This was around the Kolebu area. Cattle grazing in the city, around a place called Baba, around Kolebu area. Cattle grazing in the city. Alote, good morning to you. This is the ring road. The ring road. You're heading towards, what do you call it? The Circle Dubai. What is wrong with us? And you have assemblies there, you have DCs and MCs there, you are supposed to have, Metro guards there, you are supposed to have Kominini, everybody is there, but everybody seems to watch. Look, where the cattle were grazing, it's not far from where the police checkpoint is.
0.7. We'll be getting into another conversation pretty shortly. But first, let's bring you this announcement. The Ghana military, they are in the news again. You know that the recruitment exercise was suspended after the stampede at Elwak Sports Stadium. But there's some good news coming in, and my colleague Eric Maonegbeta, he has the statement from the military. He will tell us the latest coming from the Ghana Armed Forces in relation to the recruitment exercise after it was suspended. Mona, what do we know?
So, we've been talking about it.
If you could use this microphone for me, Mona.
Okay, let me use.
Yes. But they are in the news right now that they're coming back to do the recruitment exercise.
Yes, the exercise is expected to resume on the 20th of this month. I think we mentioned bits and pieces of where the new centers, particularly for the Greater Accra region, is expected to be. And so as part of measures to ensure a seamless process, the screening will be done at 8 sub-centers within 5 locations. Elwak Stadium, 2 centers. Nicholson Park, Bema Camp, 2 centers. Air Force Base, Bema Camp, 1 center. Training and Doctrine Command, Tradok, Teshi, 2 centers. And then Eastern Naval Command, Tema. That will have 1 center. Now, it goes on. The statement goes on to say that all qualified applicants in batches of 600 persons will receive an SMS specifying their reporting dates, batches, and designated centers. They are also encouraged to check on the recruitment portal for updates. Applicants are strongly advised to strictly adhere to these instructions. Any qualified applicant who does not receive a text message by Thursday, 20th November, should call the helpline. They issue the number for assistance. Applicants can also verify from the recruitment portal. Families and friends are cautioned not to accompany potential recruits to the screening centers to reduce congestion. Non-applicants will not be allowed entry to any of the centers. Meanwhile, the board of inquiry set up to investigate circumstances leading to the stampede is in progress. To allow for fair and transparent investigations by the board, the entire Greater Accra recruitment team has been replaced. Commodore F.A. Nyako, Colonel F. Kusidako, and Colonel G.B. Edua have taken over as Director General Human Resource, Director Manpower, and Director Information Technology, respectively. The Ghana Armed Forces wishes to assure the general public, that anyone found culpable from the inquiry will be sanctioned accordingly. The Ghana Armed Forces regrets the unfortunate incident and extends its deepest sympathies to the bereaved families, and also wishes the injured a speedy recovery. All injured will continue to receive free medical services at the 37 military hospital until they recover. Additionally, a special recruitment package will be offered to all injured after recovery and also to the bereaved families. The Ghana Armed Forces continues to count on the cooperation of the general populace in this endeavor. And so that's it from the Armed Forces.
Mawina, thank you. Colleague Eric Maonegbet updating us on the latest from the Ghana Armed Forces. But let's step into another conversation this morning. The Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, they're here with us in the studios here. Ransford Denado Jr. is Programs Committee Chairman. And he's here to talk to us about what they are about and what the fraud industry or the fraud environment, the ecosystem is looking like right now, and why we need to be careful. Also, good morning. How are you, Senior? Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you too,
nice. How's the weekend been for you?
A very packed one.
Nice. Speak into the microphone for me, please.
Yeah, a very packed one.
Nice. I see. A lot of activities ongoing, yeah?
Sure.
But what is the ACFE about? The Association of Fraud Examiners. What is it about?
The Association of Certified Fraud Examiners is the biggest global body of anti-fraud professionals globally.
Okay.
If you say that you are somebody in the space practicing, a career to reduce fraud, and you do not belong to this body, then you are just tickling yourself. So that is the most recognized institution globally that deals with certified fraud examiners.
So it's not only limited to Ghana.
Not at all.
I see.
Every country that I can count has the body. The global office is at the US in Texas, where every year there is a global conference. And the past 3 years, Ghana chapter, we have had our own share to also organize this, and this is the third one,
right?
And we're looking forward to it.
The past couple of months, we saw a lot of concerns, a lot of conversations. We had a lot of conversations about fraud activities in Ghana, Yoko, FBI, all of that, arriving in the country to do some work. But what are the most pressing fraud-related challenges facing organizations today?
So in three folds. The first one is at the state level or national level. Obviously, we have heard news about corruption and corruption-related cases all over.
Right.
So corruption, conflict of interest, asset misappropriation, all of them have become a canker at the national level. In institutions, organizations that are set up globally, it is reported that an average institution loses more than 5% of its revenue annually to the incident of fraud.
Right.
So at the individual levels, we have people who have been defrauded through scams.
Romance
scams, Momo scam, online shopping. So fraud, the conversation around fraud is not something that we can restrict it to either individual or even organizations. It's a global phenomenon. And the time has become very, very right for us to have this conference on the 19th and 20th of this month, November, at the Accra International Conference Center, under the theme, Empowering Ethical Leadership and Accountability, the Pathway to a Corruption-Free Society.
Who is expected to be there? Who should be there?
Anyone across all industries who has a role to play in minimizing corruption, learning about fraud prevention, and putting mitigation factors in place. So we have people from academia, people from the presidency, people from ministries. We have the regulatory bodies, NCA, Security and Exchange Commission. We have BOG. We also have almost all the banks representing insurance companies. And believe me, the audit firms, KPMG, Pricewaterhouse, and Deloitte, they are all coming.
That's nice. It's a good blend of all the industries who have a lot to say when it comes to fraud and its related activities. You can go there and then learn how to protect your startup if you like.
Yes. So fraud is not only about financial, it's a human thing.
Great.
And every human being, wherever you find yourself, this is not only limited to anti-fraud practitioners. Anywhere you find yourself from the media, I forgot to mention, we have people from the media also joining. One of the speakers is Suleiman Brahima.
Right.
Yes.
National
Media Foundation for West Africa.
Yes.
He's speaking on the theme, the role of the media in dealing with corruption. So it's across institutions, and people are coming from outside. We have banks in Sierra Leone, Rokel Commercial Bank joining us, bringing participants and even sponsoring.
So people will share their experiences,
exactly,
how they detected these things, how they overcame them. So if you go there, you're leaving there with some good knowledge on how to protect yourself,
yes,
and then your organization, if you like. But so far, with how Ghana has been, in terms of corruption handling and fraud handling, what are the key initiatives that ACFE is embarking on to assist in the fight against fraud?
Awareness is very key. Awareness is the lowest but the most, if you like, influential aspect of the fight against fraud and corruption. When people are aware and people know what fraud is, what corruption is, their ears and their eyes get opened, and at the end of the day, you duplicate yourself as fraud examiners globally for people to become your ears and your eyes. When they see something, they say something. So awareness has been a very integral part of it, and that's exactly what we seek to do with this conference. The next one is that we've been having seminars and symposiums, addressing very topical issues, national issues as well. And then we have resource people who we train them to also train other people to certify to become fraud examiners. Yes. So that's what we've been doing.
So when we come there, apart from the conversations that will be had, but talk to us about some of the topics that will be dealt with at this conference.
Amazing. So I forgot to mention that the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama,
he will be there.
Yes, he's a special guest of honor.
Nice.
Now you have speakers such as Mr. Ataye Boajan, the Deputy Managing Director, Fidelity Bank, speaking to us on the role of corporate executives in promoting ethical leadership. You also have Mrs. Mary Awelana Ada, the Executive Director, Transparency International. Yes, now Transparency International.
Right.
Also speaking to us on safeguarding whistleblowers, a critical component of anti-corruption efforts. Now you have Suleiman Ibrahima, a Media Foundation for West Africa, speaking to us on the role of the media in exposing corruption. Now, you have Goswe Avive from MTN, the Forensic Services Manager, speaking to us on a very important topic, the intersection of fraud prevention and cybersecurity.
Great, I like that.
Amazing. I mean, we have lots of speakers. You also have healthcare fraud coming from a doctor by name, Dr. Henry Nagai. He is talking about corruption and illicit schemes in health sector fraud.
Health
sector fraud, yes. Amazing. So, interestingly, for the first time, we have nurses and midwives coming across the country to come and join this. We also have a very important topic that a lot of people would like. We have Gordon Kwame Tamaklu, the Chief Risk and Compliance Officer of Mobile Money Ghana Limited, speaking to us, mobile money and fintech fraud, a field battle.
That is all over the country.
Yes. Now, let me tell you this one. If you thought you've heard the best, Raymond Acha, the Executive Director of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, IOCO, is speaking to us on decoding deception during investigative interview, a difficult task. Now, the list is on and on and on. Kingsford Atta, from a partner from Pricewaterhouse, is also speaking to us on the future of fraud, AI, deepfake, and emerging threats. So, we haven't even spoken about the panel discussions.
The topics are interesting.
The topics.
Yeah.
This is the first time you have regulators from 4 institutions coming together. We have the Financial Intelligence Center. Lucia Bebresa is speaking on the panel. You also have SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. Yeah. You have Mr. Mensa Thompson, the Deputy Executive Director, is also on that panel. You also have BOG on that panel as well. You also have NCA joining that panel as well. And they are asking the question, what is the role of regulators in fighting financial crime? Now, auditors are also very central when it comes to the fight against fraud. We have the president of Institute of Internal Auditors Ghana, Mr. Ebenezer Kojo Omari Mreku, speaking to us on the topic, blind spots in conducting internal audit, learning from past mistakes. You see, the beauty of this is how we have brought a lot of stakeholders together. Now, you also want to talk about prosecution. We have a very learned prosecutor who is going to speak to us about the untold stories of criminal prosecutions in Ghana, the strategies, the wins, and then the challenges. So you can't be anywhere else apart from the International Conference
I'm sure people who are listening to us and watching us on Facebook or on our social media platforms, based on the kind of people you're bringing and what they're talking about, they want to be part. How do they join this conference?
It's very simple. You get to the ACFE Ghana chapter website. You can register or call the following numbers. ACFE Ghana chapter.
Okay.
The website is available. If you just type that, it leads you there and you are able to register. You can also call the following numbers. 020 020-2074. I repeat again, 020-400-2074. You would be guided on how to register. Now, there's another number here, also a registration number, 020-400-1025. If you call any of these numbers, you'll be guided on how to register.
So the website is acfe.com.
Yes.
You can log on to acfe.com. A for Accra, C for certified, F for fraud, E for examiner, and then .com. Log on to the website, and then you'll be able to register and be part of this program. Is there a fee attached to it?
Yes. So if you are a registered member of the ACFE Ghana chapter, you are paying 2,000 Ghana cedis for this whole pack. It includes your snack breaks, it includes your registration packs, it includes your lunch for the 2 days, and then
it's a 2-day program.
It's a 2-day program,
Fair
19th and 20th of November.
Nice.
At Accra International Conference Center. So if you are not a registered member, you are paying 2,500 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
For everything.
But if you're registered, you're paying
member, yes, you are paying 2,000.
2,000
yes.
for the knowledge, for the networking opportunities that you get from that place and all of that. I think nobody should miss this. If you're a business, if you're an entity, you're an individual who wants to expand your knowledge in these areas, you need to be there. It's something that I believe would help all of us a lot.
You mentioned the networking opportunities.
Yes.
It's amazing. You have people coming from the presidency, you have people coming from the ministries, you have people coming from banks, insurance company, audit firms, telecom companies, all of them, doctors, nurses, midwives, accountant, chartered accountant, forensic investigators, all of them converging at one place. And we also have people who are very knowledgeable in technology solutions also coming. Adam Glyman is also speaking.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice. Charlie, it's a packed day that you should be there. Thank you so much, Ransford.
I really cannot leave here without saying thank you to our key sponsors.
Okay.
You have MTN, Pricewaterhouse.
And they're all there speaking there.
Yes, they are all there. You have Mobile Money Limited. You have Zenith Bank, Guarantee Trust Bank, KPMG Republic Bank, First Bank Ghana, Fidelity Bank, Societe Generale, GCB, Rablo Woods, and then RC Bank of Sierra Leone. Bank of Ghana is our supporter, and then Aquadot is also there to help us with our mineral water.
Thank you. So it is happening on the 19th to 20th
yes.
of November.
Yes, 8 o'clock each day.
At the Accra International Conference Center. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Flow, pay the drop a flow, pay the drop a flow, easy drop a flow.